we're back with another video.
That's right, we're back, and I've got my special guest here, Phoenix Wright. Thank you, Phoenix, for joining me today. Yeah, and today Phoenix and I are going to be talking to you about what your assignments are for today. But before we get started with today's agenda, I do want to kind of give you a couple of reminders. The first one being name, date, mailbox number at the top of every single page. That way when you send me pictures of each page, I need to see a name, date, mailbox number at the top so that I can keep track of whose assignment is in that picture. The other thing is, just a kind of a friendly reminder, yes, I'm giving you 2 days to get these assignments done, but like I said, I really encourage you to take the time and just go ahead and get your daily assignments done, get them turned in, and that way you don't have to let it pile up on you, because if you start skipping days, a little bit of work turns into a lot of work and it can get overwhelming, and that's the last thing I want. So stay on top of your assignments, make sure you're getting them done, get them turned in to me, and then you're good to go. The first thing I want to talk about is the attendance check-in. That is the first step to your assignments today, right, Phoenix? Mm-hmm. And all you have to do, it takes 2 seconds, all you have to do is simply check one of these answers and hit turn in. Okay, today I had 14 out of 18 get this done, so that's great, but I still had 4 kids that didn't get this simple task done. And so it is important that you take the time, 2 seconds, to perform this task so that you can get your attendance points for the day. So to show you a little more of what it looks like on your side, this is exactly it. You're going to simply click one of these choices here. I'm logged in, I have a packet, and I'm ready to work. I'm logged in, I don't have a packet, but I will be getting one today. Or I'm logged on, I don't have a packet, and I need help getting one. And that's when you need to reach out to me so I can take care of that for you. Once you click one of these, you hit turn in, step 1, you are done. Okay? Now, step 2, watch the video. April 8th assignments in review. That is this video right here. So hopefully you are watching this video and you've already completed step number 1, because that was the first thing you were supposed to do before you got to this video. Right, Phoenix?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to go over your assignments for today. Everything that you are going to need is going to be in that packet. So the first thing that we are going to start with is daily language and math. So I'll bring that up here. Today is Wednesday. April 8th, and you're going to do daily language and math number 15. So you have your ELA questions at the top. And the first one says, give the predicate for the following sentences. So the predicate, if you don't remember, we have subject and we have a predicate in a sentence. The subject tells who or what the sentence is talking about. Now the predicate tells what the subject is or is doing in the sentence, and we'll usually start with that verb in your sentence. So if you can find the verb in the sentence, that's going to give you a good indication of where the predicate starts, and you're going to be good to go. Okay? The next 2 are simply correct these sentences. You know what to do here. Go through and find any mistakes that you can. Use editor marks when you needed. Down here at the bottom it says give the pronoun that would replace the underlying noun. So they have the underlying nouns here, and you need to replace those with a pronoun that makes sense in that sentence. Now if you don't remember what a pronoun is, I have this anchor chart right here. Some examples of a pronoun would be I, me, my, her, she, him, they, them. So those are examples of pronouns, and you need to find the correct pronoun to put in place of these underlying nouns to make the sentence sound correct. Okay? Next we have our math. Down here at the bottom you have 5 math problems. You like math, Phoenix?
Yeah.
Okay, me too. One of my favorites. Very first couple are simple multiplication problems. The first one, 5 times 2. Do you know what 5 times 2 is, Phoenix?
10.
10, that is correct. So you can thank Phoenix because he just gave you the answer to the very first question. So nice job, bud. Number 3, we have a pattern problem, and the strategy we always use for the pattern problem is we make the little jumps and we think about, okay, how did the number change when I went from 2 to 4? Well, there's only 2 ways really that you can do that, and that is either to add 2, 2 plus 2 would be 4, or you can multiply 2 times 2 equals 4. But I have to look at the next jump to make sure that that rule still fits. So if I say, well, 4 to 8, well, 4 plus 2 wouldn't be 8, would it, Phoenix? No, it's 6. So I know that the rule has to be multiply by 2. Okay? And then you can finish out the pattern based on that information. Number 4, we have a three-dimensional object, and it says how many faces does this pyramid have? Well, the faces on a three-dimensional object are the flat surfaces on a three-dimensional object. So you need to count those up, write it on the line, make sure you have a unit. Number 5, another number story. Make sure you're showing your work on any and all problems. And on this one, underline the question, circle the important information. I had a few that underlined the question, but you didn't circle the important information. You guys are doing great about showing your work, so keep that up. But don't forget, underlining and circling is also part of your work as well, right?
Yep.
So stay on top of that. Okay, so back to the second thing out of the packet you are going to do, and it is another passage that is very similar to the one that you did on Tuesday, except this one is scientific text, which also means expository text or informational text. It's about real and true things. This one is type 1 diabetes. So before you read the passage, we always read the questions first, strategy we use so we can understand what we need to be looking for as we're reading. So I'm going to go through here. I read my questions first. You should have your highlighters out. You can pick your own colors. This one doesn't have the paragraphs numbered like the last one did, so you need to go through and number your paragraphs before you get started as well. I'm going to touch on the focus skills that they are asking you questions about so that we can kind of get a quick review on some of these skills that we've been working on. The first one is an author's purpose question. I have an anchor chart that I will have attached to my post on Google Classroom, but just to kind of review of what author's purpose is. Remember, author's purpose is easy as pie, P-I-E. Now, persuade, inform, or entertain. Now, we've taken it deeper and we've done pied, which has that apostrophe ED on the end. That also explain and describe is added on to that. Now, if you remember, explain is simply when the author provides directions on how to do something. It tells a step-by-step process, how to explain how to do something. To describe is when the author uses descriptive words that usually are going to invoke the 5 senses, and they give details that tell about a topic, okay? So, just kind of a quick review there. Refer back to it if you need be. It will be on the post for your benefit there. Now, going back to the passage, the next one is a cause and effect question. I'm not going to recover that because that was in the previous video from Tuesday's lesson. And so you can refer back to that video. Also, the anchor chart is still on that post in Google Classroom. You can go back to it and refer back to that if you need help. Compare and contrast. Compare and contrast is when we are comparing the alikes and differences between 2 or more things. I also have an anchor chart that I will attach to the post as well. And it is simply compare, how are they alike or the same? Contrast, how are they different? We usually do a Venn diagram to where we list out the alikes and differences in the Venn diagram. We've done that quite a bit this year. Also some clue words. So refer back to that to help you for that compare and contrast question. Then we have text evidence. It says underline, you know to use your highlighter, your color of choice. Vocabulary, another affix question. Remember prefixes and suffixes. Prefixes are added to the beginning or before the base word, and suffixes are added to the end of a root or base word. Okay, so you have those prefixes and suffixes. It's a question about that. Something else that we also reviewed in the previous lesson. And then we have context clues, which is what readers use to determine the meaning of an unknown word, right?
Yep.
So, also in the previous lesson, also another anchor chart on the previous post from Tuesday if you want to go back and use that if you need to. I encourage you to do that. Also, your portfolio is also another good resource for all these skills because we do have interactives in your portfolio that will help you with kind of refreshing your memory on those concepts. Okay, so that does it for the second assignment. Now, the last one is we are going back to the Appalachian Trail. You still have that page that is kind of like a teacher's resource page with information. Review your vocabulary like we always do when we're doing this in class. Make sure you are familiar with the vocabulary and the information that is given. I encourage you to read the questions first as always. You are going to do Tuesday's questions. 1 and 2. How many states does the Appalachian Trail pass through? And then about how many kilometers long is the Appalachian Trail? Remember, good complete sentences, restating the question in your answer. So, therefore, if I am going to use part of this question here, how many states does the Appalachian Trail pass through? I would start my sentence with the Appalachian Trail passes through blank blank states, and you just kind of fill in the blanks there. Now, that's not the only way that you can form that sentence. Also, one thing that we practice is kind of giving a variety of our sentence starters. Remember, if you have already started your first 2 question answers up here on Monday, if they both start with the, I challenge you to figure out a way to start these other 2 answers with something different so that not every single answer starts with the same word. So a little bit of variety to your writing. We're still practicing that. That's something we've worked on a lot as well. So restating the question is part of your answer. To get your answers, of course, you're going to use the map. Study the map, okay? Look at all the information that they give you. All right, and just kind of review that. If you want to use your highlighters to highlight some of the text to support your answers, I encourage you to do that as well. Okay, and that pretty much sums up for today's lesson. Okay, make sure that you get this stuff done, get it turned in, send me any pictures of your assignments that when they get completed, make sure that name, date, mailbox number is at the top. You guys are doing a great job. Keep up the good work. Of course, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Email me, call me, text me. If I don't pick up, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right? Phoenix, anything else you want to say to the kids?
Yeah. Do good on your work and don't be sloppy.
Good advice. So, follow the man's advice. Do good on your work hard, and don't be sloppy. Well, we thank you for tuning in. Work hard, and until then, tune in next time. Bye, guys. Tell them bye.
Bye.
Bye.